Well, welcome back, everybody. How the hell are ya? This is the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. Welcome back to another edition of the daily live stream. It's Friday. We got a long weekend ahead of us. It is the holiday weekend, Labor Day coming up on Monday, which means another day off for me, which means awesomeness. I will be on Monday to do a stream maybe later on in the day, but welcome. Hello. Salutations. We are back. Thank you for being here again. It's your boy, Crypto Bro, back at it again with another edition of the daily live stream. A lot of excitement in the markets today, especially in Bitcoin, which is on the screen right now. I'm going to go just kidding and not show you that until later. Again, there's a new description in the YouTube videos. Please take a look at that. I'm trying to habitually get out of the whole vocally putting out that disclaimer on a daily basis. It's there. It's legal. Read it. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. All the support that we can get to grow the YouTube channel is extremely, extremely appreciated and important as well. I can't even begin to explain how awesome it is that we have 286 community members in the Facebook community group, and I think we're like 90 followers on YouTube. If you're a part of the Blackfire Technical Analysis community on Facebook, please hop over and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. You don't even have to tick the little bell. Just hit that subscribe button. If you don't want the notifications, don't take the notifications. It is what it is. But I want to try to match and get everybody from the Blackfire community on Facebook, because if I had 300 freaking members subscribed on YouTube, I'd be ecstatic right now. I'm ecstatic about Facebook. I kind of wish everybody would kind of hop on over to YouTube, as that is our main platform right now. But it is what it is. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to keep working, trying to get more members. But again, if you guys like the videos, hit that, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. And without further ado, a lot of excitement in the markets today, especially for the traditional stock market here, the big three, and cryptocurrency. So we're gonna hop right into it and look at NASDAQ as usual. New all-time highs. New all-time highs. Again, from a candle body closure perspective, we got new all-time highs confirmed on today's candle closure. I think we closed 15,655. I am still looking for that general continuation to the one spot, 414 Fibonacci extension target, somewhere around 15,785. My disposition has not changed at all whatsoever, other than it's finally not boring anymore, right? We got, an up closure here on Friday for the weekend closure. And what am I looking for coming into Monday? Let's take a look at RSI here. What do we see on RSI? RSI continuing to print new highs, maybe? No, not yet. Not yet. I mean, yes, we are in a higher high structure. Yes, definitely. Definitely seeing RSI momentum continue to increase, and the possibility for bearish divergence to potentially play out is still there. Although we don't have a top call yet, my general disposition is continuation, just for the simple fact that we have a lot of momentum here on the exponential, holding as tentative support, and we are back in the bullish control zone, looking for more momentum to the upside alongside today's candle closure here. Stochastics, again, I mentioned this in yesterday's stream. I was looking for that cross back to the upside, and wouldn't you fucking know it? Holy ding dongs, boom! Right, and I'm not here to toot my own horn, but I want to relay this simple message that while there are a lot of non-believers in technical analysis, I'm here to tell you, it fucking works. That shit does work. It doesn't work 100% of the time. My strategy, the 21 exponential strategy, doesn't work 100% of the time, but when it works, boy, it really works. So looking at stochastics, nice fresh cross back up to the upside here. That coiling action starting to begin to play out here in the bullish critical zone here. I am still for the longest time, I am still bullish on NASDAQ here. And quite simply put here, as long as we're closing daily candle closures above the 21 exponential here, I have no reason not to think price action won't continue onwards and upwards to new all-time highs, especially coming into next week here. A build of momentum on both momentum oscillators that I pay attention to. Long-term structure and short-term structure here on RSI is still extremely valid. Stochastics, critical zone. I mean, you know, you can't argue with that, right? You can't argue with the evidence that the chart is providing to you, that the momentum is absolutely in the bullish control right now. So, you know, coming into next week, what am I going to be, you know, kind of preparing for, right? What am I going to be preparing for? Let's take a look. The first thing I'm going to be preparing for, obviously, is going to be that extension to the 1.414 Fibonacci extension target at 15,780. And I'm also going to be preparing for a potential pullback all the way down to, at the most, in my opinion, the 21 exponential. As long as we remain above this prior low here at 15,285, I'm going to be convinced that any kind of pullback is going to be potentially a higher low structure in formation. However, if price action does take out that low here, I will consider that a major change of behavior on a daily time frame, looking for the first target to the downside at 15,180, right? Am I expecting that? No. Again, I don't trade my opinion. I trade technical analysis, but my opinion here is that price action is looking really juicy and looking for new all-time highs here. I don't think, you know, a full-blown reversal at this point is likely, although it's possible in my opinion. Again, it's just an opinion. It's not likely. Likely to be more exact, you know, potential pullback to this region here. Very likely 15,477, maybe all the way down to the prior breakout point here at 15,375 before seeing another higher low structure and then potentially bouncing off to new all-time highs, or just a straight shot through the 1.414. I mean, the way this market is moving, guys, anything is possible at this given point in time here. Obviously, we saw this, you know, kind of a false signal, and you know, this is just another example of where my trading strategy didn't work. Again, any trading strategy is not going to be 100%. There's always going to be instances where your strategy will not work, right? That's why risk management and position management is so vitally important. But we saw this secondary candle closure below the 21 base a structural higher low in conjunction with this structural higher low here, and then just violent boom to the upside. So, you know, bullish I am for sure. I think that's a little too loud. I do apologize if you guys are hearing a little bit of feedback in my mic here. But that's kind of how I'm looking at NASDAQ. Same disposition today as yesterday here, except, again, that underlying factor that we're no longer seeing that boring sideways price action and seeing new all-time highs confirm gives me a little bit of confidence here that the 1.414 is likely to be the next target. Moving on to SPY futures here. Let me look at it. I don't think I got an opportunity to look at this today. Okay. All right, so we confirmed the breakout point here as new tentative support. Again, I don't look at the wicks. I look at the candle body closure. If the candle body closure is above, that's when I confirm it as new tentative support here. Again, seeing this new all-time high, back test, the lower side of the support here, and closed above the actual breakout point, confirms the breakout point at 45.30, spot 50 as new tentative support here. It's the same. It's the same disposition. I'm going to be looking for extension to the 1.414 Fibonacci extension zone, which I already have marked out here at the 45.85 region here, 4,585 bucks, right? And again, you know, seeing potential pullbacks even within this region here on SPY futures would not be out of the question to see a pullback all the way down to the prior breakout point here at 44.94, spot 50 to potentially see a higher low. But I do think that this one has a little bit more to go before it looks for any kind of pullback, cool-off period. I do believe, you know, we're seeing a little bit of that sell-off pressure here as a result of new all-time highs coming into today's candle closure. Again, after achieving that new all-time high above the 1.272, anytime we see price action reach a an extension level here, I'm always going to be looking for some kind of sell-off, some kind of pullback as a result, because, you know, those are just underlying algorithmic points of interest for price action, right? So I'm expecting bots and algorithms to, you know, kind of activate upon that price level here. Again, you know, based off the Fibonacci extension. Again, if the Fibonacci extension is the same, plotted the same as mine here, you know, you're likely to get a reaction off it. Again, people trade with bots and algorithms. There are a lot of people out there that don't even look at charts to trade. They just set up their own bots and algorithms to trade for them. And that is definitely the case for pretty much any asset that's, you know, huge in my opinion. But, you know, you could argue that this is, you know, the beginning phases of a little bit of consolidation period here, but, you know, we're closing, you know, higher up, right? We're seeing the rising wicks here. We're still seeing the rising pressure to the upside. What is the RSI telling us? RSI is really putting pressure on the bottom side of that bullish control zone, which tells me it could potentially break coming into next week here. I don't like the fact that we continue to see rejection at that region, but you know, I'm kind of looking at NASDAQ as the leader right now, and you know, I'm kind of looking for the other two of the big three to kind of follow suit here, except for fucking Dow Jones. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Dow Jones. We'll get into that conversation here in a minute, but we're rejecting the bullish control zone, which definitely tells me that a little bit of a pullback is potential, right? Give me 1 second. It is potential to see that pullback off the bottom side of the bullish control zone, right? We're seeing resistance here, right? We've seen it so many times before. 1 stab, 2 stab, down, right? 1 stab, 2 stab, 3 stabs, down, right? 1 stab, 2 stabs, looking at a 3rd stab. It's not impossible to say that it's potential to see this price action come down, potentially revert to a higher low structure. I do believe our last higher low was right along this region. I mean, the fact that it's here, kind of gives me the feeling that maybe we see a little bit of extension first. But again, coming back to the breakout point here, the prior breakout point right here at 44.93, to see price action potentially put in a higher low within this region is definitely a possibility that I'm looking at. And again, as usual, I'm still bullish as long as price action remains above that 21 exponential, right? That's my main strategy. I am very confident in that strategy. That strategy thus far has been extremely profitable from my end. So as long as price action remains above there, I am absolutely bullish on SPY futures. We have an upside target. We have a couple of targets to the downside. I think that's where I'm going to leave that one. Dow Jones is starting to confuse me a little bit. Dow Jones is starting to get me a little bit. Let's look at it. We're already seeing waning momentum here. Ooh, see? We got a low call here, but then we saw RSI here come up to the exponential and get rejected back below the exponential. The exponential is negative, but it's like barely negative, right? It's negative. It is negatively sloped, right? But from a zoomed out perspective, it's more or less flatlined, right? Which is definitely indicative of consolidation. This is consolidating. In my opinion, it's consolidating. It's consolidating on a rising 21 exponential, but consolidation, nonetheless is consolidating. So what am I looking for here? Again, very, very, very simple stuff from my perspective here. Either a break below the 21 exponential or a break above this freaking ceiling of resistance. When is it going to break this ceiling of resistance? We're seeing stochastics here continue the momentum build to the upside, right? We saw a little bit of that, false, cross to the downside get reverted real quick, but on downside price action. So what does that mean coming into next week? Again, very simple. What I'm going to be looking for is one of the two potentials here: a break below the 21 exponential to send price action to the first level of support along this region here first. Again, if that condition is met with an open and closure below the 21, this will be my first target to the downside. But likely, if we're continuing to trade below the 21, this here becomes my next target to the downside, somewhere around 34,688, spot 60, right? And again, give or take a few dollars, that would be my first, kind of major target to the downside if we are seeing consistent daily candle closures below the 21. But for now, we're still above the 21, which tells me that we still, in my opinion, have a higher probability to break that resistance finally, right? We need to see that resistance break to the upside here above 35,450. And if I do see that condition met on a daily candle closing basis here, I'll look for a back test to confirm it as new tentative support before looking for extension to the current all-time high. What does that mean for price action? If it breaks the all-time high, again, obviously confirming the breakout point as new tentative support will lead me to believe that the 1.272 Fibonacci extension is going to be the next tentative target for price action, somewhere around 36,250, give or take, a couple bucks. And this is kind of more of a more major extension in my opinion, so I wouldn't look for like a moonshot in 1 or 2 days. I think this move would take its time climbing up to that region here. Again, if we get that confirmation, right? For now, it's quite simple. It's consolidation. Just like when I say an uptrend is an uptrend until the end of the uptrend. The trend is your friend until the end. Consolidation is consolidation until the end of consolidation. And until I see proof of consolidation coming to an end, I'm just going to keep continuing to look for price action to bounce between the horizontal support and resistance here. Obviously, the 21 being support right now. We obviously have a clearly defined horizontal support level at the 21 exponential right now. Boom, there's your range. So that's kind of how I'm looking at Dow Jones right now. And listen, I'm gonna go to this next asset. I don't want everybody to think that I'm coming to this channel to toot my own horn, but guess what? I'm going to do that every once in a while. And I don't mean to, but I'm going to do that every once in a while. Why? So that I can show you, the viewers, that yes, technical analysis is a legitimate way to earn from the market. Let's go to Dixie. Why don't we? Why don't we go to Dixie? And what? And what? Continuation to the target has been met. Target has been met. Target has been met. Target has been met. To the downside. Heinous debacle. In the US dollar index today, we see the yellow 21 exponential gaining a very negative slope here, obviously forcing price action to continue to new lows here. Change of behavior was confirmed on this candle closure on the 31st of August, and then we got continuation and confirmation of new tentative resistance as a result. We saw this candle closure come into the 1st of September here, and what did I say? I said I'm going to be looking for, price action to go lower here. And I was looking for a full-on confirmed test of this bottom side, this support level here at 92.1. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? The target has been met. So what does this mean for price action? Now, technically, we could argue that this low here that was printed on the 15th of August is an inconsequential low, right? We could argue that it's an inconsequential low. Yes, we could argue that this could be the base of support that we need to hold to see the US dollar index continue its onwards and upwards bull trend here. Why? Because we have rising low. Oh, that's the wrong tool. That's the wrong tool. Excuse me. We have rising lows. First low, second low, potential third low. Again, potential. Hi, babe. I didn't know you were home yet. Oh, my lady's on. She just messaged, commented me on the channel here. Welcome home, love. I love you. Happy weekend. But again, we have, kind of like a higher low structure. Again, potentially, we have it potentially. I'm not saying the pressure isn't to the downside, because believe me, in my opinion, this pressure is definitely to the downside. Why? RSI breaking structure, confirming new lows, looking south even still. Look at that exponential here, already acting as tentative resistance once, and then we saw a little bit of an attempt to stay above the 50. Just kidding. Fuck you. Bears taking over. We see stochastics still in the bearish critical zone. And again, a little bit of pressure here. I do believe that pressure is a result of that wick back up after breaking through this support level here. It is still support. We have not seen a daily candle closure below this region, so it is still tentative support. But the bears have control, in my opinion. The bears have control of this market right now, printing new lows on stochastics, taking out this low here and this low here. This is going to be the next potential move for stochastics down at 7.83, and that would be in conjunction with price action breaking the 92.1 region that we're very, very focused on here. I do believe if price action does not hold this support here, it's going to look very, very, very nasty here for the US dollar index, just because, the 91.82 region here, this red line of support here will confirm a massive macro change of behavior, in my opinion, for price action on the daily. If we see price action swiftly close below 91.82 on a daily candle closing basis, I will no longer be convinced that this has any hope for an uptrend. I will confirm macro downtrend instead. And potential targets, I mean, this is a soft one, 91.71, but then it just goes there's a big space here that we can see price action play within before confirming any kind of support. And arguably, you could say that price action could come to this region here and confirm a bigger macro support along that region. Again, we are on a macro higher low structure, right? Looking at this one, this is a macro low, this is a macro low. I'm looking at these two as macro lows. This is more like a medium-term time frame low, which from my trading perspective is, like macro, like I trade the daily. So in my opinion, for the foreseeable future, it is a macro, low here. So if price action decides to break that region, I don't think it'll be healthy for the US dollar index again. And momentum oscillators are definitely pointing in that direction. But let's talk about the upside potentials here. If we see a low confirm here, I have no reason not to think that price action won't bounce and pop all the way back up to this region here at 92.50. But again, as long as price action remains below the 21 exponential, I'm going to look for downtrend continuation. I'm going to look for lower high and lower lows as a result. And, my disposition will remain the same. As long as we're below the 21, I'm looking down, guys. I'm looking down. And until we see an open and closure back above that 21, I'm not going to be looking for this market to swiftly change and go into, a continuation of a bullish uptrend. So that's kind of how I'm looking at the US dollar index. And obviously that makes me excited for Bitcoin. Why? Closing on new highs, boys and girls, and non-binary, and any gender that happens to be in existence that I am not aware of the pronouns for. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just being real. So what do we have on Bitcoin? What do we have on Bitcoin? First of all, I was able to move my stop loss up to, I think, 46,750. 46,750. Let me zoom this in and see if that's still accurate here. 46,750 is where I moved my stop loss. For the longest time, I really thought this position might have been, getting shaken out. I really thought the 21 would have broken by now, and boy was I wrong. But guess what? Even though I was wrong, I still had a plan. 46,790 is kind of where it's at right now. Again, on an unclosed basis, we do see a little bit of a tick up on the 21 as a result of price action continuing onwards and upwards today. But 46,750 is my current stop loss for price action. And what do we see? We see this candle here close above the blue box territory. And at this point, in my opinion, the weekend becomes relevant. The weekend becomes very relevant. Why? Because we are playing with critical levels coming into the weekend's closure, right? So I'm going to be looking for this candlestick here to confirm this region as new tentative support. And if we do confirm this region as new tentative support, my next target is going to be 52,800 to the upside. I have officially opened another take profit along this region here. Ooh, your boy is about to strike gold. More profits secured, another take profit level entered, managed my risk. This is a juicy, healthy position from my end. If you're trading the 21 exponential on Bitcoin right now and you got an early entry like I did, congratulations. You're in a hell of a move right now, and I don't think the move is nowhere near coming to an end just yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at momentum oscillators. Still continuing to see that rising momentum off that bullish divergence call, sending RSI back above that exponential, and now we're starting to see that exponential on a positive slope. Taking out this high here and going for a potential takeout of this high coming into today, 62.45. I would say if we do close here or higher on today's candle closure, we will likely see RSI spike a lot closer to that bottom side of the bullish control zone here. And look, stochastics confirming the bottom side of the bullish control zone here as new tentative supports. We did see a little bit of a spike below it, and then boom, just kidding, not today. I'm going to be looking. Continuation is my general disposition, and still the 21 being my main strategy here. As long as price action is closing daily candles above the 21 exponential, I am not going to be looking for any south targets, but that does not mean we cannot prepare for them, right? If we see price action put at a top here, fall below this support level here at 49.6, we'll just call it 49.620. On a daily candle closing basis, I will look for a top call here, and I will look for a full retracement back to the yellow 21 exponential. That does not mean that the trend is coming to an end just yet. We will be on a higher high structure still. Consolidation range has been broken to the upside, which leads me to believe that the upside continuation may very well be deeply vast. Right? We saw this consolidation. We got scared around the 21, and then it went boop back to the top side of the range, came close to the 21 again, got a little scary, reacted, came back, closed above this horizontal support that is the top side of the range, and closed above the horizontal resistance that is the blue box territory. And now we're seeing price action continue as a result. So generally, I am looking for more. I am looking for more, and I will be managing my risk here on a daily basis, even through the weekend, Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Yes, I will be managing my risk on Bitcoin. I mean, it's the only one that's open 24/7, right? It's the position that I have that I have to manage 7 days a week, every week for 365 days a year, dependent on if I'm in a position. I do have to manage that position, especially on the daily, every single day. So I'm very excited for this one. I do believe the first target that we're going to be looking for is 52,800, and that's kind of where I'll leave the upside possibilities here, because again, from a macro perspective, while it is a little exciting to see Bitcoin continue onwards and upwards, we are still possibly looking at a massive bull trap, right? I'm not saying it has to be that way, but I am prepared for this to go south at any given moment. And the moment it does go south, your boy is gonna snap that shit and open a short position with a confirmed candle closure below the 21 exponential. I'm going to snap on that bad boy, right? You got to be prepared for any possibility that you could possibly think of in this market, because if you don't, you're likely to get, shat out, right? You're likely to get messed up in this market if you are not planning. If you fail to plan, your freaking plan is to fail. Expect nothing, prepare for everything. Couple of wise words that I got from a couple of my other mentors here. I do stick by those theories, and I am very, very, very confident with my trading abilities right now. That's Bitcoin. That's kind of how I'm looking at Bitcoin. We're going to go check out Mr. AMC, seeing a little bit of staunch resistance here, failing to continue onwards and upwards, possibly looking at some consolidation here. Not out of a question to see that play out, but we're rejecting this region here as tentative resistance, which leads me to believe possibly we could see price action pull all the way back to the 21 exponential here and confirm a higher low. Again, as long as we're above this support here, 90, or we'll just call it 40 bucks. As long as we're above 40 bucks, we could argue that we possibly see a higher low structure anywhere within this region, even off the yellow 21. However, we do see RSI here printing a new high, coming back down, testing that exponential. It does look a little weak. It does look like it wants to continue further to the downside, but that's why I'm preparing for anything at this given moment in time with AMC. This is a little bit of a weird signal. Definitely doesn't tell me continuation. It definitely doesn't tell me breakdown. It leads me to believe that the 4 hour might be possible underlying indication here. We do have a little bit of a spike up on RSI for the 4 hour, and the stochastics doesn't say more. The stochastics definitely doesn't say upward momentum here. So you could argue that we are within a consolidation phase at the current moment in time between this point and this point. And it's possible, right? It is possible. We've already seen the upside being tested, bottom side being tested, upside being tested. The bottom side could very well be tested once again, even on the daily time frame. So, that's kind of how I'm looking at the AMC right now. Two levels that I'm paying attention to, quite obvious, quite fresh here. Upside resistance, if we break 44.88, I will look for continuation, likely to new highs above 47.22. And that would lead me to believe that we got a higher low structure once again on price action, which lead me to believe that the next possible target here is 53.68. However, we could see price action come down first to the $40 region here, right along the yellow 21, and if we close below the yellow 21, that likely leads me to believe that we have a change of behavior on the daily time frame, and my next target to the downside would be 37.25. But we do see stochastics on the daily continuing to coil further upwards and onwards. I am confident that the bulls do have a little bit of control here. RSI looking a little bit weaker, to be quite honest with you. So I would be more confident in any kind of call here, again, because we have rejection or resistance, and we have a lot of space here to play with. I would be more confident coming into Monday, I don't know if the market's open Monday, maybe Tuesday, coming into Tuesday and seeing how price action is playing out to be more confident on any kind of moves to the upside or to the downside. For now, what the chart tells me is that we're rejecting, right? We're rejecting the $45 region here and not closing above it, which tells me that it's possible that we see price action pull back into the yellow 21 coming into next week. So that's my disposition on AMC. Let's move on. I think the MMAT is going to be my next one. Continuation. This one is continuation for me. Why? I mean, look at this price action. Yeah, we've had some heinous sell-offs, right? But we're still closing up on new highs and above tentative resistance. For MMAT into next week, I will be looking for this to either continue onwards and upwards to the $7 region, $7.30 region, or a soft pullback to test this region, well, it's already kind of on it. I would actually look for price action to potentially hold above this region to confirm it as new tentative support before confirming, a move to the upside. Or we could see a little bit of a pullback to this support here at $4.90 to confirm a new higher low, right? We haven't gotten a higher low since this point here on the 27th of August. That's our last higher low here. So this price action looks more, I'm more confident in saying that, it is more possible to see a higher low structure, being that we haven't seen a higher low, for a little over a week now. So a little bit of a pullback, maybe to the $4.90 region, maybe to the $4.27 region, base a higher low first before continuing onwards and upwards. But stochastics bouncing off the bottom side of the bullish control zone, crossing back above the exponential, definitely indicative of momentum. And we see RSI continuing to newer highs. This high was taken out here. It screams continuation to me. It screams continuation to me. And look at that 21 exponential here. Look at the violent upside that 21 has right now. Very, very, very vertical. And obviously, I'm mitigating my risk here off the 21 exponential, and I'm in the profit now. I'm in the profit on MMAT right now, and I am very excited about that. So, that's kind of how I'm looking at MMAT. Nothing too much else outside of that. Just general continuation is kind of how I'm looking at that one. And the big one for the day, the Hall of Fame. So it looks like what Corey was talking about could very well be what happens. We do have a structural lower high, technically, right? Macro or micro, right? If we zoom in, we could say, oh yeah, we have the beginning etchings of a potential uptrend. The only thing that we're missing right now is a higher low. But if you pull out, then you're like, oh, okay. What's this? We have a lower high structurally in comparison with this high here, and a couple of other highs as well, right? So you could argue that this is macro downtrend continuation, a signal of macro downside continuation, or you can argue that this is a micro higher high looking for a micro higher low. If we do get a micro, a higher low along the 21 here, that will increase my confidence that this is the macro low that we've been looking for before upside continuation, that bull rip to the upside. But again, this could also prove to be a structural higher low, which, in my opinion, if confirmed, would erase this as the macro low here. I would look for price action to dive way below $2.60 here. So let's look at price action and analyze. So we see price action putting in that top off the resistance here and closing right on the 21 exponential. We do see stochastics here crossing down, rejecting the critical zone. Exponential is negative, our stochastics is negative. Not looking hot. Fresh cross, I do believe. Fresh cross of the exponential and a rejection of the 50 read, right? That fresh cross below that 50 read here is enough for me to say, hey, maybe we do have a little bit of a downtrend here. But what I want everybody to be aware of here, again, this is just my opinion, not financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but I would say this is kind of the last hope to potentially see an uptrend formulate here for the Hall of Fame. It is possible to see a break coming into next week of that 21 exponential all the way down to the $2.84 region here, and potentially look for a higher low structure here. If we get an open and closure below $2.84 and a secondary open and closure to below it to confirm it as new tentative resistance, I do not believe that this will be the last stop here at $2.60. I think the actual target for this could be anywhere all the way down to $2 even, maybe $1.97 for the Hall of Fame. However, if we do confirm a higher low structure either here on the yellow 21 exponential or here on the last hopium for an uptrend at the $2.84 region, I would be looking for a continuation to new highs past $3.40 all the way up to $3.75. That would be my first target to the upside here for price action on the Hall of Fame. And again, we do have a couple of indications here that says, it might be time to get a little bit worried. Again, I look at the neutral zone here. Any kind of cross below that 50 read, I don't take that. I don't take that well, and I don't take a cross in and a cross out of the critical zone too well either on the daily time frame. And again, for the Hall of Fame, man, we've been in the critical zone once, twice, 3 times. Let's look at the historical relevance of when stochastics crossed into the bullish critical zone, right? Here's your first try, right? Here's your first try. We got a little bit of continuation, and then boom, death. And then the next time we went into the critical zone here, we actually met critical resistance here at $4.75 before getting that first indication that it might be time to short sell. Boom, absolutely heinous decline to the downside. So is the critical zone confident? Am I confident that when price action or when stochastics goes into the critical zone, it's going to start coiling and doing all this bullshit? No. Historically speaking, every time we hit that critical zone, we get slapped in the face with a major, decline, right? So we're already seeing a major critical zone test and not that much momentum built off the base here for the Hall of Fame, right? We don't see, exponentially new highs. We don't see a huge bull market ensuing as a result of all of this perceived momentum here. So it is very possible that we hit this region. We've hit this region with rejection, and we just shoot straight through to the bottom side of that blue box territory. That, in my opinion, is a very, very, very crucial point for this price action. Or I could be full of shit, and we see a higher low either on the 21 or this $2.85 region before continuation to the upside. That's kind of how I'm looking at the Hall of Fame. We have a lot of pressure on that 21 exponential, and again, you guys know that 21 exponential is my main catalyst for opening short positions, right? If I see an open and closure below that 21 exponential, from my perspective, that's it. That's going to be the end all be all until we see a cross back above the exponential. But that's kind of why I plan for a potential higher low on the $2.85 region, because I could be wrong about the 21 exponential moving average strategy in this specific case. So plan for everything, expect nothing, right? I don't expect anything. I don't expect price action to decline. I don't expect price action to increase. I prepare for both. And then wait patiently. So that's kind of how I'm looking at the Hall of Fame here. I do believe it is time for some requests. I am going to keep this one on a little bit of the shorter side today because I have time to spend with my lady. We're going to hop on over to Timber, TMBR. What the fiznuck? Oh, boom! There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. The only concern I have for this is the fact that RSI rejected the neutral zone here, right? But that concern is mitigated by the fact that we have taken out every high on RSI since the 14th of April. RSI has taken out every single high that RSI has printed since the 14th of April. So that's a confidence booster. That's signal number one. Signal number two, continuation beyond the bearish control zone. Yep, confirmed. Absolutely confirmed. Confirmation number two. Confirmation number three comes on the price action chart. Confirmation three, back test. Boom. 21 exponential. Boom. Close above the 21 exponential and above the $1 mark. Confirmation number three. That, to me, is an entry I would enter. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. But if it were me, this is a clean entry for a position on Timber. Did he ask for any time frames? No, I'm sticking with the daily. Whew. Confirm this region as tentative support. $1 is now new support. What am I looking for? I am looking for continuation to new highs. As a result, my first target is going to be $1.13 unless we see a clear breakage of this support region, at which point I would look for the 21 to potentially break to the downside, and I would look for the first target to be 94 cents. Again, stochastics above the 35 read, RSI poked above the 50 read, looking at a little rejection, but we have taken out every high on RSI since the 14th of April. We have a perfect... Oh, I got a request. Jennifer Lynch says, UAVS if you get a chance. Absolutely, I got a chance. I will knock that out for you. Any specific time frame? Because if you don't give me a time frame, I'm going to look at the daily chart. For Timber, though, I am looking for general continuation. We have upside targets. We have downside targets. We cover the momentum oscillators. It's time to move on. Fubo. No, you know what? Let's do... Yeah, I'm going to wait for her response, actually, first. Fubo TV Incorporated. Boy! What'd I tell you? So even though we closed on a red day, guess what? It's still continuation. Why? Because we closed on new highs. We closed on new highs. Stochastics has broken above that 50 read. RSI remains above the 50 read and continuing its momentum slope to the upside. Exponential remains positive. Nothing out of the ordinary, in my opinion. Hitting new highs, seeing a little bit of sell-off, not of a question here, but my general disposition is continuation. I'll be more confident of continuation if we see the 21 take out the past high here, right? We're looking at the 21 alone. We see this sloping high on the 21. We see this 21 hitting that region right now. I will be very confident in vast continuation to the upside resistance of 34 bucks if we continue to close candles above the 21 exponential here. Last low being here. We are in a higher high, higher low trajectory. It's going to be very exciting. I do think continuation to the next target here. Maybe we're going to mark that off. 31.60 is going to be the next price target that I'm going to be looking for this action here. And if we close and confirm above that region here, I have no reason not to look for the $34 region here. So quite the opposite though. If we put a top here, crash to the downside below this support, arguably we could argue that we could see a higher low on this region here, right aligned with the 21 exponential. We could see a higher low print anywhere in the 27.80 region. That would not be out of the question. And as long as we are closing candles above the prior low here at 26.30, I'm going to be looking for higher lows no matter what until we see a confirmed change of behavior on price action. I'm going to be looking up to the moon. That's where I'm looking at Fubo here. Let's go ahead. I didn't get a response, so I'm going to do UAVS on the daily time frame. Let's take a look. I got that right? UAVS. AG Eagle Aerial Systems Incorporated. NYSE ARCA. I think this will be the first ARCA stock that I've ever analyzed on the stream. Congratulations. Bad. Fucking bad. Oh boy. Wow. Not looking good. Coming off of new lows here. Ooh. I'm not confident. Daily or weekly? So she said daily or weekly. Daily is not looking good, Jennifer, at all. To be quite honest with you, coming up, putting in a lower high off the 21, rejecting the 21 exponential. I'm going to be looking for price action to move to a soft target of $3.27. But in my opinion, I think this one goes for new lows here below $3, 292 here. We do see rising momentum and that rejection of the 21, confirming a new high. Do we have a higher low trajectory though? Where's our prior high? No, we are not bullish at all. We have not seen a change of behavior. I am not looking for a change of behavior until we see price action take out this point here, and that would be in confluence with continuous closures above the 21 exponential. We do see the 21 exponential proving to be a vast trading profitability here on this price action here. Again, you could have entered here, fake out, exit here. You would be deep in the profit here. Short 21 trade here. A little bit of a trap here and continuation. I mean, yeah, 21 is definitely my sign here. I am going to be looking for continuation all the way down, possibly below $3.27. Though the daily does not look good. We do see RSI here. Chop. This is really choppy here. We're definitely coming off of new lows here. In my opinion, this is just an inconsequential action in the bearish control zone. Am I confident that this is going to start reversing? Not at all. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But if I was trading this, I would not be looking to the moon. I would actually be looking to the fucking floor with this one. If we do see new lows print below $2.92 here, we're going to have to start playing with new targets to the downside. Let's get a couple of them printed out here. Nah, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. Now you could argue that this is the low. The low is set, but the fact that we saw the daily reject that 21 here and put in another lower high, I'm not confident. I'm not confident that we have upside momentum here. And again, just because stochastics is coming up does not mean price action is going to just do what you want it to, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at this one. Definitely coming off a little bit of a consolidation phase here. We could argue that we are still consolidating. That would not be out of the question. And until that consolidation breaks to the upside or to the downside, in my opinion, the downside, that's where my disposition lies. If we do see a candle closure above this resistance, I will look for a back test to confirm it as new tentative support, which will be in confluence with an entry of the 21 exponential strategy, at which point I would be looking for price action to continue onwards and upwards to about $4.30. However, we have a fresh top. This is a fresh top. It is a lower high in conjunction with the prior structural high here. I'm going to be looking for price action to potentially break the $3.28 support. And if it does so, the next target is going to be this region here at $2.92 and likely lower to new lows. First low potential would be $2.60. So that's kind of how I'm looking at the daily. What is the weekly telling us? Nothing fucking good. Nothing fucking good. The weekly has been in the bearish critical zone for quite some time here, since April. The bears have had control of this market since April. From an RSI and a stochastic perspective, RSI, very negative exponential here, acting as resistance all the way through here. This does not look good. This does not look healthy, in my opinion. Yeah, weekly is going to be the same disposition here, and look at how far below the 21 on the weekly we are. Now, from the weekly perspective, it is arguable that we could see a pop all the way back up here to $4.62 from the weekly perspective, but you look at the weekly here, boom, test of the 21, rejection, test of the 21, rejection, almost a test of the 21, rejection. I think this is a pity bounce in a death trap of bearishness that looks like it'll never end, and I do believe that this one puts in new lows. Sorry to tell you that. If you're shorting it, cool. If you're longing it, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? It's not time to long this one, in my opinion, until you get a signal that tells you, hey, it's time to long. It is not fucking time to long this. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Prog on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Let's look at it. I wonder if we got continuation. I don't like this chart either. Whoa, okay. All right, so we did get a test of that 21 exponential that rejected. Not a good signal here. We do see RSI crossing it back above that critical read. We have warning shot fired number 1. RSI looking for a potential break of the top side of the bearish control zone, printing new highs. Warning shot fired number 2. First test of the 21 exponential. Warning shot fired number 3. That's the daily. Maybe we are on a little bit of a watch. Here's what I don't like, though, on the daily. We do have a reversal style hammer candlestick rejecting the 21. We have a lot of bearish pressure on that 21 right now, closing on a reversal style candlestick. Reversal style candlesticks are not indicative of direction of change, right? It doesn't tell me that, oh, we got a reversal style candlestick, it's automatically going to reverse to the downside. That is not the case. It could just as easily reverse to the upside as it could to the downside. So please bear in mind when I say reversal style candlestick, still anything from that point is possible, right? So we'll go ahead and check out the 4 hour. We're closing above the 21, and remember, I did say that 21 exponential moving average strategy is valid on the 4 hour, and we do have very good evidence of that right now. We got a first candle closure above there on the second here at about 8:30 in the morning, I do believe, followed by our secondary candle closure above to confirm a trade. Boom, enter. And as long as we close 4 hour candle closures above the 4 hour 21 exponential here, continuation is going to be my disposition, although we do have a little bit of weakness here on the stochastics. Very sharp decline to the downside, testing the basically the bottom of the critical zone here. And while we don't have any confirmation of what that means just yet, it's on our radar here. What we do have is a candle closure above the 1.272 Fibonacci extension zone here on a 4 hour time frame. I wonder if that lines up with the daily here. It does. It lines up with the daily, which means on a 4 hour, I will be looking for continuation. I will be looking for continuation, probably any. See, we're right on it. So the first thing I would look for on the 4 hour is a confirmation above the 1.414, at which point I would look for continuation to the 2.272. Got a comment. Jennifer says, no, I was in it a few months ago and it just came to mind. Thanks for looking though. Yeah, please. Again, not financial advice, but if I was trading it, I'd be telling myself, please don't fucking long that. Don't long that. That was so ugly. It was ugly. I make myself laugh. So for this one though, the first thing I would look for on the 4 hour chart is a closure above the 1.414 here. We already got that evidence that we're above the 1.272 again on a 4 hour time frame, and we have confirmed that new region as tentative support. So I will mark it off. I would look for price action to either break to the downside below the 1.272, at which point I would be targeting this support at 99 cents, or a break above the 1.414, which would lead me to believe the 2.272 is the next target at about $1.40 here for this price action. What is the hourly telling us? Ooh, the hourly doesn't look good. The hourly doesn't look good, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, using the 1.414 as tentative resistance right now, holding the 1.272 as support. We could see hourly consolidation, but look at the momentum on the hourly. Cross below the exponential. I do believe the hourly has a little bit more downside to go. Bearish divergence confirming on the hourly as well. I do believe, yes, bearish divergence on the hourly, printing, ooh, almost printing new lows. To be quite honest with you, I would look for this one to continue a little closer to the 21 exponential, but more importantly, likely this support level here at 99 cents. That would not be out of the question for the hourly. I would look for a little bit of downside continuation for that one. What's the next request here? BIDU. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at BIDU 4-hour and daily. This will be the last one unless I get any more requests. 4-hour, looking at a higher low. I would be looking for the 4-hour on this one here to continue onwards and upwards. We did confirm an uptrend on this one from a 4-hour, and I do believe a daily perspective as well. We do have a 4-hour higher low right here after this top call, bouncing and supporting the positively sloped exponential here, looking for continuation. I would look for price action to continue through the $163 region to the next target at 167.83 and likely higher. If we see 4-hour candle closures above 167.83, I'll look for a back test to confirm a support before this region becomes my next target. About 175 would be my next target to the upside for this one on the 4-hour, and the disposition is likely the same here on the daily. Oh wait, fuck, I forgot. We do have bearish divergence here forming on the 4-hour stochastics, so that does lead me to believe that a pullback is possible, but we got that higher low confirmed on the RSI. I think I'm going to put more weight on the RSI for right now than I am on the stochastics. Higher low confirmed on the 4-hour, and we closed right on that resistance, so, watch that 4-hour, right? Watch that 4-hour chart here. But the daily, let's look at what the daily is doing. Okay, it paints a different picture here for the daily. A little bit of consolidation potential in formation, maybe even a little bit of a bull flag in formation here. We do see stochastics continuing deeper into the bullish control zone. RSI rejecting the 50 read, but then crossing back up, putting a little bit of pressure on it. So that resistance here, in my opinion, is vital. It's very vital. If I get a candle closure above that, I think the shorter term time frames take over, and we see liftoff to potentially $175 here. But if we continue to see rejection, I will look for a back test of this region here. Where's the last top? Boom. I would look for a back test of this region, which is arguably the next higher low location. Again, possibly, unless we open and close daily candles below the 21, then my disposition will change. But as long as we're above the 21 exponential here, I will be looking for general continuation as a whole, unless proven otherwise. And we do see this momentum here, pointing to the upside. We've seen it before, right? The 21 on this one here has a couple of has a couple of examples of where the 21 wouldn't work, right? We saw a false entry here with a candle closure above, our little, a breakout, and then our confirmation candle above. You could have longed here and you would have got shit on. And another issue here is, we got our first candle closure and confirmation above. You could have made a little profit off of this here, but if you didn't close your whole position, you would have got shit on, and then downtrend continuation as a result. So we do have a couple of examples of where the 21 doesn't work to the upside, but again, as long as price action remains above there, I'm going to assume that it's going to work unless proven otherwise. If we do see an open and closure below the 21 exponential, I do believe this will be a very consequential lower high structure, and I will have no reason not to look for new lows in price action on the daily time frame over time here. But the first target I would be looking for is 139, give or take a few dollars. But we're above the 21. We're putting pressure on the shorter term time frames on that resistance. I do think the shorter term time frames take over a little bit coming into Monday or Tuesday. I don't know if the market's open Monday because of the holiday, but Monday or Tuesday is price action. I do think potentially we see that resistance break, at which point I would start targeting the upside. And if it continues to reject, maybe that higher low on the shorter term time frames gets negated, and price action puts in a structural lower high and continues the downtrend. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that one, and I think that's going to wrap it up for today's stream, everybody. If you guys watched the stream, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. Thank you for being here. Please check out the links in the description below for the Blackfire Technical Analysis official community page on Facebook, and I do believe a link to the Twitter page is on the description as well, at Fire Analysis. Hit those links. Come on, join the community. We'll be happy to take you in. We do not discriminate around here. I'll take anybody and everybody that wants to join, unless you're some kind of racist piece of shit or something like that. I don't know who you are. Just come into the channel. Help a brother out, man. And that's going to do it for today. Thanks for being here. And until next time, everybody, you know the deal. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.